For over 100 years, the Butler County Humane Society has cared for and placed into loving homes the area's abused, neglected, and abandoned animals. Our No-Kill initiative was started in 2000 with a commitment of the board, our staff, and our community. As we are a non-profit, non-tax-supported facility, the BCHS is dependent on private donations for survival. We hope you enjoy this episode of Critter Corner and bring your entire family to visit us here at the Butler County Humane Society.
6-year-old Toby arrived at the shelter as a stray at the end of August. Active and enthusiastic, he has no trouble making friends with shelter staff and volunteers, and is always ready to play. In spite of his age, Toby still has plenty of puppy energy left over and can sometimes play a little more rough than he realizes. He'd be happiest in a household with older children that are looking for an energetic and outgoing canine companion. Surrendered to the shelter in July of 2012, when her owners could no longer care for her, 3-year-old Chanze has lived at the Humane Society for the majority of her life. A friendly girl with very quirky personality, she loves to get out of her cage and stretch her legs. Chasing toys and rolling in catnip are her 2 favorite activities, and oddly enough, she really enjoys the company of dogs. Though she doesn't seem to realize it, she's been known to play a little rough, making her best suited for a home with older children. Though she is still young at just under 2 years old, Hannah has had a difficult and tumultuous life thus far. Surrendered by her previous owner after an altercation with the next-door neighbor, she was very shaken up when she initially arrived at the shelter. It took some time for her to adjust and trust staff, and she is still fearful and uneasy around people she doesn't know. Finding it easier to get along with her fellow canines, she enjoys playing with other dogs and loves splashing around in puddles. With her favorite staff members, she has shown that she can be a loving and affectionate girl, but due to her fear and distrust of new people, she would do best in a home with no children and an experienced owner who will take time to get to know her and make her feel comfortable. After spending 2 years at the Butler County Humane Society, 3-year-old Ashley is ready to leave the shelter life behind. Arriving as a stray in May of 2013, Ashley quickly adjusted to shelter life. She's become a permanent fixture at the window in the cat socialization room. She loves sitting on her perch and watching the world outside. Ashley has little trouble making new friends and is very outgoing and kind to visitors that come to say hello. Taking a relaxed approach to life, she likes to go with the flow and not let life's anxieties stress her out. She'd be happiest with a quiet family with older children that share her mellow outlook on life. Arriving at the shelter as a stray, 3-year-old Wyatt was malnourished and very underweight when we initially met him. After spending some time with shelter staff and volunteers, this little guy revealed himself as a playful and smart companion with the love of squeaky toys. Still hanging on to a few puppy habits, Wyatt is looking for a family with no children under the age of 10 that can help him learn and grow. Though he is sweet and friendly with people, he'd do best in a home without cats. After being found abandoned in one of the shelter's outdoor dog kennels back in August of 2013, 4-year-old Franka spent the next 2 years of her life waiting for her forever family to come along. That day finally arrived this past August, almost 2 years to the date that she was originally dropped off at the shelter. She was adopted into a loving home that she always deserved. Sometimes, for so many reasons, it just takes a little longer for the right family to walk through our doors and change the life of one of our dogs or cats that has been waiting and waiting for a home. When this happens, it reminds all of us of the value of being a no-kill facility, offering a second chance to each and every one of the homeless pets here at the Butler County Humane Society. Transferred in from another shelter when they no longer had space for him, Preston is a friendly 4-year-old with lots of enthusiasm. Through working with staff and volunteers, he has mastered many commands, including sit, shake, down, stay, and roll over. You can see what he wants to please, and he works hard at learning and listening. His pleasant nature makes him an absolute wonderful companion. Due to his high energy level, he would do best in a home with older children, but would be the perfect dog for an active, outgoing family. 3-year-old Rosie is as lovely as can be. with big, beautiful eyes and a friendly disposition. Surrendered to the shelter by her previous owners when they developed a cat allergy and could no longer keep her, she's adjusted well to shelter life. Though she's happy to spend time with human companions and enjoys affection and being petted, she's also very content being by herself and relaxing in solitude. Rosie would do best in a quiet home, and while she enjoys human company, would prefer not to live with dogs. Returned to the shelter when his adopted family could no longer afford to care for him, 2-year-old Marshall is once again searching for a loving home. Though at first he can be quiet and shy around new people, once he warms up to you, he's very playful and extremely sweet. Marshall initially came to the shelter as a stray during the month of February, and it's hard for us to know what his life was like before he arrived. He can sometimes be hesitant when meeting new men and would do best in a home with older children. Surrendered to the shelter this past July when his previous owners could no longer care for him, 2-year-old Snowpaws had no trouble adjusting to shelter life. This affectionate and playful boy still has plenty of kitten energy left and loves chasing after feather toys and making new friends. With such a positive, upbeat outlook on life, Snowpaws would be a wonderful addition to any home. The Butler County Humane Society will be holding a rabies and microchip clinic on Saturday, October 17th at the Butler County Humane Society from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. Rabies shots will be $10 apiece and microchips will be $15 each. All animals receiving a microchip must have a copy of their rabies certificate on hand. 8-year-old Woody arrived at the shelter as a stray in April 2015 after struggling to make it on his own in the world. We quickly learned that poor Woody is both deaf and partially blind. It pains us to think what he must have experienced, lost and alone, before finding his way here. Due to his restricted senses, he can be a little standoffish and shy at first. But once he realizes he's with a trusted friend, his calm and friendly nature shines through. Relying mostly on his sense of smell and survival instincts, he can be somewhat protective of food. A quiet home with a regular routine and no children would be the perfect environment to help Woody feel safe, secure, and loved. Surrendered to the shelter when he was bullied by the other cats in his home, 4-year-old Dreamsicle couldn't be any sweeter. Cuddly, friendly, and affectionate, he's perfectly content to spend the day purring on your lap. This lovable guy is looking for a home where he can relax comfortably for the rest of his days and would be the perfect companion for just about anyone. 4-year-old Jax arrived as a stray in July and has had no issues fitting in here at the shelter. Friendly and very eager to meet new people, he loves going on walks with shelter volunteers and having his tummy rubbed. Though he has no trouble making human friends, due to his high energy level, he'd do best with older children and would be happiest as the only pet in the household. Ready to say hello with an enthusiastic tail wag and a big smile, he can't wait to find his forever family and leave shelter life behind. When Misty arrived at the shelter, she was a bit overwhelmed with the shelter scene and was placed in foster care, where her sweetness really began to show through. She is quite the talker come feeding time, but spends the rest of the day either in a window watching the world go by or curled up on the couch. Although she doesn't like being held, she often follows her humans around the house. And she has a very unique way of letting it be known that she would much rather spend some quiet time alone than pounce on a mouse toy. Although she can coexist with other cats, Misty would rather be the queen of your heart. She is looking for a nice, calm home where she will feel safe and loved. 3-year-old Pasha arrived at the shelter under tragic circumstances. Her previous owner needed to move into a senior living facility and was only permitted to take one of her cats with her. Pasha was the unfortunate kitty who had to be left behind and was surrendered to our shelter in April of 2015. She couldn't be a sweeter cat if she tried. Friendly and very affectionate, Pasha loves to rub up on her human companions with her head to get attention. Looking up at you with her big, beautiful eyes, it's clear that all Pasha wants in life is a loving home. Pleasant and kind, she'd do well in just about any household. Transferred to the shelter from another shelter, 9-year-old Clyde is a gentle old man looking for a forever home to relax in. Friendly to all that he meets, this sweet boy is content playing in the yard or napping at your feet. Clyde isn't without his perks though. Sensitive about having his ears touched, he'd prefer back scratches to head rubs. Due to a food allergy, he's only able to eat grain-free fish dog food, so table scraps are off the menu. Looking for an easygoing family that can give him plenty of care and attention, he'd do best in a home without any other pets. Who says kittens have the most fun? 11-year-old Jenny has no interest in acting her age. This feisty senior still has plenty of energy and zest for life. Very playful, she loves toys that make noise and has no problem chasing them, with or without a playmate. That doesn't mean it's non-stop fun and games though. After playtime is ended, she's content curling up in her bed to relax. After spending nearly a year here at the shelter, Jenny is more than ready to find her forever home. She'd prefer a household with human companions only, where she could be the center of her new family's attention. Wandering the world on his own before arriving at the shelter as a stray, 3-year-old Hobo is ready to end his search for a forever home. This active and playful boy loves chasing after tennis balls and playing catch in our outdoor volunteer yard, and is quick to make new friends. After facing challenges unknown to us out in the world as a stray, Hobo can be somewhat protective of his food. He'd be happiest as the only dog in a household with older children. Transferred in from another shelter to Butler, 3-year-old Willow was understandably shy and reserved when she first arrived. Though she's come out of her shell after warming up to staff, she's still somewhat cautious around people she doesn't know. Taking her time to regain her confidence, she's looking for a quiet home that will provide her the patience and love she needs to adjust. 6-year-old Angel arrived at the shelter when she was transferred from another shelter after her owner had passed away. Understandably shy around new people, once she warms up to you, she can be very sweet. A smart girl with lots of energy, she's looking for a patient family who will help to make her feel comfortable and confident in her new home. Protective of both her toys and food, she would do best in a quiet household without any children. Friendly and easygoing, 2-year-old Daphne arrived at our shelter as a stray at the end of April and is ready to get out of the shelter and into a forever home. This sweet girl has no trouble making friends. With such a warm, loving personality, it's hard to believe that she's still waiting to be adopted. Besides spending time with her human companions, she loves to eat and is not one to ever miss a meal or turn down a treat. Daphne would be a wonderful addition to just about any home and can't wait to finally have a family to share all her love with. Surrendered to the shelter when his previous home was no longer a good fit, 1-year-old Kane is looking for a forever home to grow up in. Still very young and learning about the world around him, he's got plenty of playful energy left and is eager to meet new people. Though he gets along well with most humans, he's not as eager to make friends with other animals and would be happiest as the only dog in the house. With his whole life ahead of him, Kane is ready to meet his forever family here at the shelter. Surrendered to the shelter when her owners moved and could no longer take her with them, 7-year-old Bella has had a lot on her mind and has no reservations about telling you. Very talkative, she's looking to be the center of attention and will meow her way right into your heart. Playful and friendly, she loves to play with toys and spend time with her human companions. With her quirky personality and sweet disposition, she'd do well in most homes. 2.5-year-old Saphire is no stranger to the shelter. She's been adopted out from our shelter and returned twice. This shy girl was originally an owner surrender, and that makes the shelter the 4th home she's had in 2 years. Cautious and uncertain around people that she doesn't know, Saphire takes time to build trust after so many have already come and go from her life. Once she realizes that you're here to stay, she'll let down her walls and let her sweet personality shine through. Playful and affectionate with a love of squeaky toys, she'd prefer a household where she could be the only pet and the main focus of her family. After all she's been through, she's looking for a true, forever family that will love her unconditionally. 5-year-old Loiuse is a rambunctious and spirited lady that spent her entire life here at the shelter. Though she arrived at our shelter in June of 2010 as a sweet little kitten, she was somehow overlooked by visitors and is still waiting for her forever family to come find her. Very playful and friendly with a love of catnip, it's hard to understand why little Loiuse hasn't found a home. Fond of chasing after mouse toys, she can sometimes get lost in the game and play a little rough, making her best suited for a household with older children. After waiting all this time, Loiuse is more than ready to find the perfect family to welcome her into their hearts and home. Pretty and petite, 4-year-old Susie will quickly win you over with her big eyes and wonderful manners. After arriving as a stray at the beginning of August, Susie took no time showing staff and volunteers what a wonderful girl she is. She loves playing with tennis balls and is incredibly affectionate, perfectly content to sit by your side and enjoy your company. An absolutely pleasant little girl with a loving personality, she'd do well in just about any home. One of our oldest shelter residents, 3-year-old Carmel, has been at the shelter for her entire life. Arriving as a stray at the end of June 2012, shelter life has taught her how to be independent and rely on herself. Though she prefers spending quiet moments in her cage, once she's out in the cat socialization room, she loves to run around and play keep away with shelter staff. She's even been known to play fetch from time to time with the toy mouse, carrying it back to her chosen human companions so they can throw it again. Selective about who she associates with, Carmel would do best in a quiet home without children. Burt is understandably nervous and shy around new people and can take time warming up to men especially. Though he gets along well with other dogs and cats, he isn't as fond of children and would do best in a quiet home without young kids. A favorite among the shelter staff due to her unique personality and catitude, 2-year-old Callie has spent the majority of her life here at the shelter. Her previous owner was a member of the military, and when they were transferred to another station, she was unable to travel with them. They surrendered her to our shelter in June 2013 with the hope that she would find a new, loving home. Callie loves getting out of her cage and playing in the cat room. She gets so upset when it's time to go back. Living in a home where she could run and play all day without being confined to a cage would be a dream come true for her, and this friendly girl is ready to leave shelter life behind. She would be a wonderful companion for a caring family with older children. Two-year-old Tulip arrived at the shelter as a stray, limping feebly on one of her back legs. During her medical examination, we discovered that it was an old fracture that hadn't healed properly. While she is no longer in pain, because she hadn't had proper care, she'll be stuck with a limp for her life. Tulip doesn't let that hold her back though. She absolutely loves attention and is quick to greet new visitors. Content with just spending the day relaxing by your side, Tulip would be a wonderful addition to any family. 5-year-old Spooky has moved from home to home several times in his life and is ready to find a forever family. Originally an owner surrender, he was adopted out and returned when he did not get along with the other dogs in the household. With so many people coming and going from his life, he sometimes finds it difficult to trust new people and may take some time opening up to strangers. Once he gets to know you, it's clear that underneath all his anxieties is a sweet, friendly boy just looking for a family to love him. In need of a home that will ease his nerves and give him all their attention, he would do best in a family without young children. Unlike Pandora's box, this 3-year-old girl is full of nothing but love. Pandora arrived at the shelter as a stray, but has never shown an aversion to people. In fact, she will usually start rubbing on your leg and greeting, showing you that she wants some of your attention. Since her arrival, she has gotten along with several other cats, both young and old. The same is true of people, making Pandora a well-rounded addition to most homes, with or without kids or other pets. 9-year-old Ozzy's world was turned upside down at the beginning of September. When his owner passed away suddenly, he was brought to the shelter in hopes of finding a new forever family. Very sweet and incredibly affectionate, Ozzy loves to give kisses and enjoys meeting new people, He'll be quick to say hello with a cheerful bark and would be happiest with a family that could spend plenty of time with him and give him lots of attention and love.